Hello and welcome to Grafton, which is a small ghost town. It's been rebuilt a little bit, just on the outskirts of Zion National Park. Specifically, if you want to try and visit here, you need to drive to a place called Rockville, and then take a right turn if you're heading towards Zion, and go down Bridge Street and effectively follow the signs. It's quite easy to find. The last bit is basically a road like this. But we've come down in our saloon car, and didn't have any problems. You don't need a four-wheel drive or anything to come down here, although you are advised not to come down if it's wet, because the road is it is quite steep in places and probably is quite impassable. There are four buildings here. The two behind me, as you can see just there, there's the old schoolhouse and church actually as well. A home there, another home just behind the trees there, which we'll go and visit in a minute, and another homestead just a little bit further up the road there. There's also a cemetery which we'll go and visit in a little while. Anyway, we've come here to take some photographs. It's quite a nice evening, and I'll just show you around. The town was established in 1862, and I think by about 1949 the last of the residents had left. It had to be rebuilt a few times due to floods, and I think it just proved to be too difficult to sustain a community here. There are other locations along the road between here and Hurricane that are much better, with much better water. So eventually the town did dwindle and was effectively abandoned, and there's a society now that has reconstructed some of the houses and is gradually repairing them. In addition to the houses, there are also some old farm implements knocking around, a tractor and an old plough in that field behind us. If I just move across, might be able to see better. As you can see, the view from here is actually quite spectacular. If I just move a little bit across, you see the cliffs in the distance and the pinnacles. You can't actually get into most of the houses, at least certainly not the schoolhouse, come church, and the larger house across the way. But this house behind me, you can get into, so we'll just go for a little bit of a wander through it. Hopefully it'll be light enough in there to pick something up on the video. The ceiling's pretty low in here. As you can see, it's basically a one-room house. No fireplace in front of us there. If we just walk through into the back, this looks like it's an addition to the house. You can see here it's been quite crudely joined to the house just there. And at the back we've got a little lean-to shed, I guess, for animals. Maybe even this was for animals as well, I don't know. I don't think there's anything on the information board that actually mentioned what this was for. But we'll just carry and wander back outside. Oh, yeah, well, first time I've been in here, and yeah, quite obviously this was used for animals. I think there are some nice views if you're into photography, certainly along the side of some of the buildings, looking down towards the other buildings. So this is just an example, which I might go and grab my camera off Kim, so she's borrowed my camera at the moment, and we'll go and grab my camera back and perhaps take this photograph. There's quite a nice viewpoint down in this direction. We just need to walk along the side of this fence. There's a sign saying no trespassing to the left of me, to the side of this fence. But if we just walk down here, As you can see, there's a nice view of the house over in that direction, and a nice view of this barn here as well. So there's quite a few photo opportunities here. So about a quarter of a mile back towards Rockville, we've got Grafton Cemetery, which is just behind us here. So just take a walk down to take a look at the cemetery. Just looking at the information board for Grafton Cemetery. As you can see, it was in use between 1862 and 1924. A lovely sunset over there on that rock face as well behind the cemetery. Just pan around a little bit. You can see the sunset across all the rocks on those cliffs over there. So to the right of this, basically along the line of those cliffs, is where the main road to Zion National Park goes, just under those cliffs. So I think we're about maybe 10 miles, if that, to the national park. So that's it from Grafton. Definitely recommend paying a visit here if you've got an hour and a half to spend. In the evening, as you can see, it's a really lovely time to visit, and you can find a little bit more about the history of this part of Utah, and also if you just like taking photographs, there's lots of photo opportunities down at the ghost town as well. Anyway, bye for now.